Welcome, everybody. My name is Pam Cary, and I'm joined here today by Barbara Lagony, my good friend. We're going to talk tonight about collagen. And collagen is a protein that's produced by the body. It's loved by the skin and every other body part. We're going to learn a lot about that. We're going to learn about what makes collagen. We're going to learn about what collagen does and what happens to it as we age and factors that impact the breakdown of collagen, and also what we need to do to produce more collagen. We're also going to talk about some of the issues with collagen in general, what's kind of on the market, what to look for in a good collagen supplement, and of course, the Shaklee difference. So I would like to welcome you all tonight and also introduce you here to Mrs. Barbara Lagony, my good friend for many, many years. She has her BS in nutrition from Cornell University. She and I hail from Buffalo, New York, and we both went to Cornell. So when I met her, we became instant friends. We've worked well together for a couple of decades now, and it's always a pleasure to have Barb along on anything that we're talking about regarding nutrition. So thanks, Barb. We're going to get rolling in the interest of time. And we are here today because yesterday, Shaklee launched Collagen 9. And that's the name of the product, and we're going to tell you why that is. It is the most complete collagen product on the market, formulated to contain all 9 essential amino acids to support protein synthesis, including collagen. And that Collagen 9 name may not mean anything to you right now, and it may be a big question mark for you, but let me tell you, by the end of the call, I'm hoping that you understand more about Collagen 9. Here we go, Barb.
There we go. Okay, so if you've heard of collagen, you have probably thought about it in terms of probably skin, maybe hair, maybe nails. It makes a big difference in those things. But what you may not have been aware of is that it's also important for the stuff that we can't see, and that would be internal organs. In addition to the hair, the skin, and the nails, collagen is responsible for all the things that hold us up and hold us together. It is a protein, and in fact, it's one of the most prevalent in the body. I think a third of the protein in the body is collagen, and it's critical for, in addition to our skin and our hair and our nails.
Oh, wait a minute.
And we'll show you more on that in just next slide. So even in huge amounts, collagen is what makes up 75% of our skin, 85% of our tendons and ligaments, 90% of bone and cartilage, and so it's a third of all the protein in the body. It's fascinating. But here's the kind of kicker, is that as we age, collagen breaks down. And when it breaks down faster than we can produce it, then we start having a change, as you see in that picture. It starts in our 20s when we start to lose about 1% of our collagen each year. And during the first 5 years after menopause, we lose as much as 30%. We're going to show you another chart about this in a minute. And so with collagen breaking down, Pam, we want to look at what happens. Collagen depletion, can you see that yellow line, that as the collagen goes down, weight gain increases with age? That there's an association with that. And this next one, this chart, shows what causes collagen breakdown. So Pam, can you take it from here?
Sure. There are 4 major things that cause collagen breakdown. Number 1, as you would guess, is age. As Barb just shared with us, how that as we age, we lose our collagen. It breaks down as we age. And you can see in this graph here, the percentage of collagen in your body, the loss starting in your 20s and going up in this graph till age 60, whereas 80% of collagen is lost.
Yeah, that one was a shocking statistic.
Major thing. So we're in an uphill battle. Age causes collagen to break down, just as in this example of this pear. And it's a living thing. Protein in our body is alive and well. And the result of collagen loss over time is evident in the pictures here. Another thing that contributes to collagen breakdown is the sun. And we are thinking now of all the years we laid in the sun with the baby oil on and
Yes.
got those tans, and just it was so important to show my tan lines and go away on vacation and come back with a tan. And now I learned this week that that wasn't such a good idea in
That's such a
contributing
good
to my
idea.
collagen breakdown. The UV light makes collagen fibers unravel, causing wrinkles in the skin. So sun protection, SPF, really important to prevent the breakdown of collagen. Also smoking. Smoking, the chemicals in cigarette smoke damage collagen, which makes skin sag and wrinkle. So hopefully we're not smoking. And then also sugar. And this is a bummer. I'm sorry to share with you that sugar helps break down collagen. It causes collagen fibers to cross-link and tangle, resulting in the loss of the skin's elasticity. So it doesn't stay as strong. When we're having sugar, it really does negatively impact our collagen.
As if we didn't have enough reasons already not to be eating sugar.
So those are the four things that cause collagen to break down. So age, sun, smoking, and sugar. So take those notes down. Okay. And Barb, what happens then when we have age, sun, smoking, and sugar? What are the symptoms of collagen breakdown in our body?
So we'll be able to tell when we're losing a lot of collagen by some of these symptoms. For example, because collagen is such an important part of our joints, of the connective tissue in our joints, of the tendons, of the ligaments, even the muscles and the bones, when people start having joint pain, when people are stiff, when they get up in the morning, that those can all be indications of collagen breakdown in the joints. Also, bones. There's such a concern about osteoporosis and bone density and so forth. And so we think a lot about calcium and vitamin D, but I hadn't thought much about collagen is a major component of bones. So you think of collagen and all those things that need to be holding us up. Weakened muscles, another symptom of collagen loss. And cellulite, oh gosh. So cellulite comes when weak collagen levels create these skin dimples they call cellulite. That's a collagen issue. And what about hair? Thinning, lackluster hair can be an indication. Now, all of these things, vitamins play a role in all of these things as well. But collagen is a major component. Brittle fingernails that break all the time. Sometimes there's and then papery, crepey skin. Wouldn't we all like to have the hand on the right? And so collagen plays a role in that.
Okay. So how can we increase our collagen levels? I think we would agree that none of us want any of those things on those previous pictures there. That doesn't look like the picture of health. So how can we increase our collagen levels? So to make collagen, the body combines 8 essential amino acids. That's not a typo. Some of you are thinking that right now. I thought we have collagen 9, but 8 essential amino acids along with vitamin C, zinc, and copper. So why did Shaklee give us 9 essential amino acids in the collagen? So to build protein, we need 9 essential amino acids that are obtained from our diet. In the picture down below with the red ring around it, the essential amino acids, there's 9 of them there. Those need to be obtained from our diet. The body can't make them itself. But once those 9 essential amino acids are present in the body, it can make the non-essential amino acids. I'm sorry, the glycine and protein is not lined up in my yellow box, but I will fix that. Anyway, but the thing to know here is that you can build collagen with 8 essential amino acids. But when you have that 9th amino acid, like it says in the box here, when a 9th amino acid is present, once the body makes all the collagen it needs, the body can then make any of the other proteins that it needs. And that extra amino acid in there helps to not let that go to waste and not be used efficiently for the body. So 9 essential amino acids provides maximum protein synthesis. That's the Shaklee difference. And I spoke to Dr. Steve Cheney today. He has his PhD in biochemistry. He's a senior master coordinator in Shaklee. And he wanted to really stress that point, that is what happens when that 9th amino acid is present. It just doesn't that extra collagen go to waste, or that extra protein go to waste after the collagen is produced. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Barb, you want to talk about the collagen
Well,
production in the
well, this
body?
is sort of how it works. So, you don't just eat collagen and it becomes collagen directly. When we take in collagen, it's going to break down to amino acids, the right ones, the ones that we need to make collagen. That happens in the stomach. It gets broken down into the amino acids. And then those amino acids go in the bloodstream and they head off to all those tissues we mentioned before, the joints, the tendons, the muscles, even the lining of the intestinal tract. Pay attention to that because you may have heard of bone broth that people take sometimes when they have leaky gut issues. Well, what do you think bone broth has? Is collagen. And so these little fibroblasts and all these different tissues take all these individual pieces that you need to make collagen, and it makes them anything left over. Then, if it has the all 9 amino acids, will then repair and rebuild all the other kinds of protein needs in the body. And every one of our cells is comprised of protein as well. Okay. Now, I was fascinated by when we looked at the kinds of amino acids that are in collagen are different from the kinds of amino acids that are in muscle. And there are 2 in particular that was fascinating to me that Pam just alluded to. One was called proline. And when we take in a collagen supplement, we're getting extra amounts now of this proline. And here's what it does. Those little amino acids that you see in that diagram, those are the ones that are red and yellow and blue. Proline takes those and it twists and turns and shapes them into a helix, and the helix then into a kind of a stringy fiber, and then it twists and turns those fibers into a bigger kind of a fiber, like a rope, and each time it does that, it gets stronger and thicker, and that's why it's so effective in holding us up. And it holds up even, hollow organs. That's why the intestinal tract and even the uterus, things like that. Proline plays a role in that. And the other one is glycine. That was equally fascinating to us. So if you look at that yellow diagram there, you can see that's the mixture of amino acids that comprise collagen. So you see a big chunk is glycine, another big chunk is proline. Well, what about glycine? Well, in addition to being a key component of collagen, it's found in things like pork skin and chicken skin and gelatin and things you may not want to have in a healthy diet, but other protein-rich foods. But for those of us who don't eat a lot of red meat and animal protein, this is kind of an important issue because glycine, in addition to making the collagen, glycine makes some other very important things in the body, including glutathione. If you've ever heard of glutathione, it is a very powerful antioxidant. And if you've not heard a lot about antioxidants, those are the guys that are in our vegetables and in our fruits, what nature gives us. And they are protecting our cells from cell damage all day long. Some of them are water soluble. They have to be replenished all the time. But glutathione would probably be one of the most important ones. So that's glycine. And the other thing about glycine, Pam, would you just share that quick story about creatine? Creatine is often marketed to athletes and many times young athletes. You want to
Sure.
mention? Go ahead.
Sure. I have one of my kids, the youngest one is 17, and he's a baseball player. And at 17, when you're a junior in high school, many of the athletes start wanting to supplement with creatine if they use personal trainers or they're on a weightlifting program of any kind. The trainers often suggest that they start supplementing with creatine. And my son had asked me that probably about 6 months ago. He said, "Hey, my trainer wants me to start taking creatine. Hey, Mom, can I start taking creatine?" I'm thinking, no, I don't want you to start taking creatine. So we were at odds about this. And I said, I think you need to wait. Now, my son is like 6'3" and probably maybe 180 pounds. He's very tall and thin and lanky, and he wants to be bigger and full of muscle and strength. He's a pitcher, so he needs to throw the ball faster, right? So he wants to work on his velocity, he needs more muscle, and it's not coming fast enough. So he wanted to take creatine, and I didn't know, if I was really giving him the right answer. So I checked in with my good friend, Eli Bremer. Eli Bremer is the head of the Shackley Pure Performance Team, all the Olympic athletes that are supported by Shackley. He's a 2008 Olympian himself in the American Pentathlon and a great guy. And he told me something really interesting. He said, you really don't want to supplement with creatine at this age because you want to wait for the body to develop its muscle on its own. Because if you build muscle too quickly on a not already fully developed frame, you will have injuries. You've heard of Tommy John surgeries and different torn labrums and different stuff where the muscles, and I think about that even with regard to a dog. Some dogs, like pit bulls, are very muscular for their frame. And you often hear that they have torn ligaments and bone damage and broken bones and stuff like that because the muscles are almost overdeveloped. So in this case, you can see how the use of creatine is not always the best thing to do. He suggested that Sam, just be patient and wait until Mother Nature gives him the body that he needs to be best at his sport. So just wanted to pass that on because I think there are a lot of moms here, and I just know that's a common thing in the sports world. So I wanted to share that message from Eli.
Well, and I think the point is that it's better the idea of supplementing is to provide all the necessary nutrients for the body and let the body make the things it needs, right?
That's right.
And that's sort of the idea behind the collagen. It gives us two more kinds of building blocks for things that we need in the body. Okay,
absolutely,
thanks,
for sure.
Mhm.
Okay. So now we want to say what to look for in a collagen supplement. Now it's clear, I believe many of you would agree that we need to have some collagen supplements that would be beneficial for us. So how do we find the right one? So there are 6 points here that we have that we want to have a diverse amino acid profile. Because in that picture with the rings, the colored circles, our bodies require approximately 20 different amino acids in order to function properly. And the more we have going on in our body, the better we are for the amino acids and producing collagen. We want to have a hydrolyzed bovine collagen. Collagen can come from different sources. You may have heard of marine collagen or vegan collagen. We're going to talk about those in a minute. But bovine has been found to be the most potent and effective source for collagen. Shackley goes one step further and makes sure that their collagen is pasture raised and grass fed, also very important for effectiveness. When collagen is hydrolyzed, the amino acids within it have been broken down. That's what that means. That's they're easier for the body. 1 and 3 in our collagen. Products on the market that say multi-collagen supplement types 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. More is not better when it comes to collagen. We want to have types 1 and 3 because these support the primary areas of concern and are the most important types. We want to be wary of any products that contain 3 or more, like I said, as it just merely means that the supplement is watered down and less effective, that has less of a lot of things instead of a good amount of the couple things we do need. We want to have a collagen that's clinically recommended dosages. That's the company that makes it has prioritizing quality, and that we have a money back guarantee. All those things are really important. This is a $5 billion market. We neglected to mention that. Soon to be a $7 billion market. So there are a lot of products out there, and we need to make sure that we're choosing the one that's most effective. And that's why we have Shackley Collagen 9. It checks all the boxes from the prior slide, and it is the most complete collagen supplement on the market today.
So let's look at this new product. And here are some of the components of it that make it particularly effective. So Pam mentioned that it contains both type 1 and type 3. Now, these are the types of collagen that do all the holding up stuff primarily, right? Holding up the skin, the shaft of the hair, the fingernails strong, the muscles, the ligaments, the joints, the bones, all that. They're the holding up guys, right? And there's 10 grams of collagen in each serving. And then there are the 9 essential amino acids. So from what Pam just shared, Essential means it's got to come from your diet. You can't manufacture that yourself. But from those 9, you can create all the other protein that you need in your body. So the 9, that's why the 9 is so important, not only for the production of collagen, but for all the other kinds of things that we need protein for in the body. It contains 100% of biotin. I remember at one time, biotin is a very pricey nutrient. I remember one time someone telling me that it was 17 times more expensive than silver. It's a sign of a really good multivitamin when it contains biotin and a really good collagen, because it's absolutely essential for healthy hair, skin, and nails, right? And likewise with vitamin C. Vitamin C, one of the reasons that you saw the things that increase the breakdown of collagen was smoking. Well, when you smoke, you you deplete vitamin C in large amounts, right? And so vitamin C is real important for the skin and for the collagen. And then it's hydrolyzed. That's on Pam's list of how you know its quality. You know, it doesn't matter what the label says. If we can't absorb it, or if it causes gastric distress, wasn't that a pleasant way of saying that? Then it's money wasted. We need to know that it's going to be utilized. And then I particularly like that this one is unflavored and it's very easy to mix. So we were able to get a few early cans of it. Some of us, it's in such huge demand. It's a little tricky sometimes to get it, but anyway, we started playing around with it. Boy, it just dissolves right away. It's a very easy product to work with. And so we'll show you in a minute. We have a slide to show you some of the ways that we've used it. And then we always kind of slump over this when we talk about Shaklee, all the Shaklee products. But it's no small deal that they're non-GMO, that they're grass-fed, that they're pasture-raised, that they're gluten-free, that they have no artificial flavors and colorings and sweeteners and preservatives. We just sort of assume it's always going to be how it is when you're using a Shaklee product, but it's just good to reiterate that. Okay, so we did a little research about different types of collagen. Now, this wasn't hard to do. When Pam mentioned that this is a $5 billion market, people very interested in collagen. So a lot of folks are jumping in to that market. And one of the things that our friend Dan Henderson was telling us is that, to start a collagen company, anybody with a laptop and who can create a website, can start a collagen company, and the consumer is completely vulnerable. We don't know. When we went online, and there are zillions of pages, companies you and I have never heard of that have popped into the market. So people need some guidance on what they can trust. So marine collagen sounds interesting, right? But marine, that term is kind of a blanket term that covers all kinds of living animals in the water. That's the marine collagen, right? So that means it can come from jellyfish, or it can come from a shark, or from shellfish, or whatever. And not all of those sources are you going to be able to absorb. So it doesn't, I think it sounds good, it's good marketing, but what Shaklee found is it's really not very effective. Vegan is another one. We met Ashley earlier, if you're on our pre-call, and people who are vegan, well, they're kind of stuck because collagen can only be made by animals. So some companies have come up with some genetically modified things to help create this collagen. How effective is it? I don't know. And you don't either, right? And then they put a lot of flavorings in some of these things. And you got to be careful about that. They can mess with your gut, let alone your liver and the toxicity of some of them. All right, so that brings us to why Shackley has always been our go-to product line for and company for me 40 years. Um, and that's because products are routinely recalled by the Food and Drug Administration. And we don't talk about this enough, but it's good for us all to be aware that they're recalled if and when they finally catch up, to find these things, if, for mislabeling, for either having things in the bottle that are not on the label or having things on the label, more likely, that are not in the bottle. They may also have allergy producing kinds of substances, and they have to disclose those on the label. And if they don't, well, then they get caught. Let alone contaminants. Adulteration was the word I was trying to think of earlier. And I was talking to you before, and that when Dr. Colby told us that the United States is the country that has the most companies that make a product that is likely to be adulterated. China was number 2, but the United States was number 1, and even heavy metal toxicity. So it's just good for us to know. This is why you don't just put anything into your body unless you know the source and that it's someone you can trust. And that leads us to Shackley. It's what led me to Shackley 40 years ago. I didn't know that most vitamin companies don't have scientists and PhDs on staff. I kind of assumed everybody did. I didn't know that most companies don't do any kind of clinical research. I assumed they did. In fact, for until very recently, there were at least, Pam, 3 or 4 pages in the back of our product guide listing all the clinical studies that Shackley not only has conducted, but have been published in peer-reviewed journals. That's a big deal. And I wanted to put one example in here about that kind of speaks to Shackley quality standards, because any company can say we have the highest standards, yada, yada. Well, there is an agency called the U.S. Pharmacopoeia, and they establish guidelines for companies to test 80 contaminants for any botanicals that they use. Shackley tests 350. That's the kind of difference that you have. It's always, the standards are just much higher than even what the FDA establishes. And it's good to know they conduct over 100,000 tests, quality controlled tests on their ingredients every year. And I know when Roger Barnett, who is the owner of Shackley, when he came to Shackley, I think at that time, Pam, it was something like, that was now, 15 years ago, Dan, something like that.
17,
and I remember at that time, the number was about 80,000, because we didn't have as many products at that time. And he came from a manufacturing background, and I remember him being skeptical about because I don't know, is 100,000 a lot? Doesn't everybody do 100? If we don't have a comparison, how do we know? And he was shocked about the 80,000. He wanted to make sure that was accurate. So he had Marjorie Fine, who was the head of our legal department. He had her count all of the tests that were done. And that's how it turned out to be more like 100,000. I mean, it's so great, but it's a wonderful, those are just great examples. And we could give you a lot, but we don't want to spend the time. But it just gives you an example. This is the kind of company that Shackley is. So it's a company that you can trust. So when it comes to collagen, it's going to be a company that's going to create a product that we can use, that will work for us, and that we can trust. Okay, Pam.
Excellent. Well, it looks like we can all agree that Shackley is the product to be using for maximum collagen production and extra protein synthesis within the body. So I'm convinced after this that I need to have collagen 9 in my diet. So how are we going to use it? We have some ideas for you. Some of you maybe had the chance to dabble in it already, have experienced collagen 9 protein. We're hearing that people are mixing it in beverages of their choice, certainly protein shakes, coffee, juices. I've heard some in tea as well. I've heard that somebody put it in I think it was the Hydrate Plus our alternative to Gatorade, and it didn't taste very well. So we're finding that maybe the some of the enzymes in different products, acid levels and stuff, are um, affecting the flavor a little bit. So, I'm going to kind of encourage my customers to experiment first and share that with us. We're all learning together. But coffee, yes. And oftentimes putting it in first, mixing it around, and then adding the creamer or something. I don't know. There's some steps to that. People are using frothers to make sure that they don't get any clumping and it goes smoothly. Sometimes it depends upon the temperature of your coffee, I think, or the drink that you're putting it in. So it goes well in smoothies for sure because we have that blending factor usually in a
Mhm.
shaker or a mixer or blender.
And
Um,
Pam, people are mentioning in the chat, it,
yeah.
it makes things creamy.
Mhm.
It gives it a very nice texture. So I found there, if sometimes we'll have a high fiber cereal in the morning. And so we put a big heaping scoop of the Shaklee energizing soy protein on that. And then I just sprinkled two of those scoops of collagen on top of that. And it blends into anything I've tried it on. I was making a dinner the other night, and it was these stir fried veggies and with I think turkey or something. And then I had a cream sauce on it. Well, I just sprinkled it into the cream sauce of my serving and my husband's serving. It's really versatile. That's quite nice.
Yeah, I think that's great too. Scrambled eggs, soups, and sauces. Often like our organic greens booster that goes into so many things that we don't think about, beyond just a smoothie. So we're encouraging everybody to get a little canister of the Collagen 9, start putting it in your products, and see what happens. This is our
So
skin. This is our hair. These are our nails, and this is Collagen 9 from.
that's
So
right.
welcome to the product line. Shaklee has over 350 products in our product line. If you're not familiar with the company, we have an excellent youth skincare line, particularly with the youth activating serum that helps build collagen in the body with encapsulated vitamin A and other botanicals. An amazing skincare line, cleaning products, a very deep line of supplements and protein products and water filtration pitchers, and just amazing high quality products, all safe, proven, and guaranteed for you. So we thank everybody for being here. If we want to ask a few questions, we have some in the chat box.
We had a couple of questions, Barb. We had wondering, someone is taking a collagen product and they're saying that that's all of the protein they need, and how we can talk about, if we're taking the Life Shake and collagen, is that too much protein? Or, just some people are used to the protein in the Life Shake. And, so that was a question that
The quick answer is those proteins are different, right? So that's one of the reasons we wanted to show you the graph of the kinds that comprise collagen. They are different from the amino acids that comprise other kinds of proteins, including the protein shakes. So they're different. And so what we're really doing with collagen, and this remains to be seen. I mean, it's a new product, so we're going to be hearing how it impacts people. But what it appears happens is we just put all the components that the body needs to make collagen, to make other kinds of protein. We give it all to the body. We let the body pick and choose, what it needs. And then let's see all of those, everything that we've shown you, we have the effects of collagen depletion in the body. What are the parts of the body that collagen comprises? I'm fascinated by the gastrointestinal stuff. We will now see. We're going to be testing it and see. We're guessing that's how it's going to work. Judging from everything that we've read, there are people who've been using collagen products already, and they report different kinds of results. So the answer is we'll just see. But we give them no, you can't get too much protein. If you add collagen to your shakes, that's not a problem. You're just adding more of those special amino acids that you need to make collagen. Interesting that Stacy said other collagen products have given her some GI issues, gastrointestinal issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Moira, what about the one that we had earlier about Let me see. Well, somebody asked if it was okay to have while pregnant or breastfeeding. Do you know that, Barb?
I don't know that. My guess is protein is usually a very good thing for pregnancy and lactation. Obviously, they don't test these products on pregnant women, but protein is just really an important thing for pregnancy and lactation.
Okay. What about somebody else? Also, I'm unmuting you, Moira. So hang on a second. Somebody asked if it since collagen 9 contains vitamin C, I think 100% of the daily value, if I'm not mistaken. Do they need to take additional vitamin C?
Yeah, I would.
Right.
I would. Because why? Because it's when people say, how much vitamin C do I need? Right. And the answer is, it depends. Right. People who smoke need a lot more vitamin C. People who are prone to weakened immune system stuff, they may need more vitamin C. What depletes vitamin C? It's lost air, heat, light, right? So the answer is it depends. Every body is different in terms of its needs and its ability to absorb. People who have chronic illness, people who have gut issues, they have trouble absorbing a lot of things from their food. That's one of the reasons, from their diets. That's one of the reasons I think they do so well when they supplement with the Shaklee supplements, because they're so well absorbed.
Okay, thanks. And another question, Moira? Do you have a couple more? I think there's a couple more in there.
Yeah, there was a question that we know that, as you said, as we age, we produce less collagen and we can absorb protein less. I mean, one question was, is it ever too late?
No.
I mean, we know the answer to that question. We'll say it's never too late to start taking care of yourself.
We'll see. I mean, it isn't that it's gone forever. It's that it's breaking down faster than we're able to replace it. And so what we're going to see, we're going to be the grand experiment here, is if we start supplementing with this, can we catch up? Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know that I've done talks for the aging population and senior communities. And I think you mentioned this, as we age, we absorb our protein less, not as well. And so again, things that help us, and give us protein and give us collagen, it's just going to be so helpful. And especially for the aged population that have achy joints and sometimes have weaker immune systems, this is just something to really help to continue to build health.
That's right. And Julie asked about at what age should you start? Well, that chart that Dan sent us said that the breakdown starts in our 20s. And by age 30, wasn't it 10%? Pam, you might want to scroll back to that.
I'll look at the slide.
Yeah, it was a good.
By age, what did you say?
I think, well, every decade, you lost another. It
was 20%.
So by 60, it was like 80%.
80%.
More is breaking down faster than we're repairing it.
Right.
So someone else had, had a question about it's bovine, but is it dairy free?
It is dairy free because isn't the dairy from the byproducts of the animal? Because the bovine.
Yeah, no, there's no dairy added to it.
Right. And then, used after chemotherapy treatment. Again, we always suggest.
I don't know why you.
Yeah, I know why you wouldn't.
Right.
Again,
it's just another part of your diet, right?
Right.
Collagen, It could be it's like food.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's asking about African American hair. I would think it would help all human hair. Wouldn't you say, Barb?
Yeah, I didn't see that. Yes. Yeah, right. All hair, right, are these hair shafts, right? And humans have nails and skin and hair and joints and ligaments and tendons and muscles and bones, and all of that has to be held up with collagen.
And another question is, how important is it to only use as directed? Barb, is more better? Is it a daily thing? We have a 20 serving container. Should we do it every day? Some people are saying Monday through Friday.
Well, one of those points that you made about what to look for in a quality product was to have the professionally recommended amounts. So can you overdose on it? Probably not. Can you take too little? No. I mean, so it isn't like a medication,
Pharmaceutical,
right? It's a food. So I would say it just gives you guidelines about how quickly your body's going to be able to make collagen from it. So let's see. Let's see.
Put it in there and see what we get.
Yeah, let's start with a couple of those scoops and let's see what we find.
As far as results go, we're doing a little bit of research, and some take longer than others. Some is a couple of weeks or 30 days. You'll notice results in probably hair and nails, some skin. Oftentimes, the backs of your hands, you can see that more readily than you can see the skin on your face. If you're not looking in the mirror all the time, you can always see your hands. So watch that. Some people have recommended taking a picture of your hands before you take your collagen so that you can see the progress there. But things like joints and stuff take longer. Bones, particularly,
especially
sometimes up to a year of collagen supplementation. So depending on the need, we need to make sure we're counseling our
take a picture of the back of your hands. That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Take a picture of the back of our hands. Let's see what we see.
Yeah. And so I think that's really exciting. Linda Bennett is saying that she had a smoothie this morning with the collagen in it and had no GI issues, and she's 30 years post-bariatric surgery.
That's really significant, amazing. Linda. Thank you. You're the one with the cute squirrel in your picture. I assume that's a squirrel. So cute.
Right. And I was visiting some girlfriends overnight in the city, and she had one of those Nespresso machines. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's kind of like a Keurig, but it's
espresso. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I put it in before I, started the machine, and I did a little stirring afterwards, and boy, it tasted so good. I don't drink coffee that much anymore, but it was a nice treat.
It's great. I've heard this from a number of people.
What about acne scarring, Barb? Sarah Wallace is asking about acne scars. What do you think about that? Skin is skin, but scars are scars.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Again, I think, I think it's going to help, it helps skin, and we'll just have to see how things go. And I think someone recommended taking pictures. Take a picture.
I think with skin, remember, collagen is a holding up kind of substance, right? It's holding our skin up from sagging and wrinkling. We saw some articles were talking about possibilities of wound healing, which would make sense, because your collagen is filling in, and so possibly. So we'll see. We're in the infant stage. We wanted to share enough with you that we are discovering, but boy, I just think it's a product into, and let's see what good it can do. So you've got all these kind of symptoms that we've shared with you. Just make a note of it, because when stiffness goes away, you don't notice it. When the pain goes away, it's like, oh, I haven't had that for a while, right? It's been a while since I've taken any kind of pain relief. That's what I think we're going to have happen now. So let's all just pay attention. Let's track it, and we'll have some great stories in about, I imagine 4 to 8
weeks. Crystal Gossett has historically been using a liquid collagen for 90 days. She's a Shakti distributor for many years. And she said she noticed a difference in her joints, but not her nails, hair, or skin. For 90 days, the liquid collagen, not as effective of a form, we're learning. But she said she's been using the Shakti Collagen 9 for a few weeks now, and her hair is growing like crazy on top. I know she's been putting that on social media. So we should be sharing our results so we can learn together. I'm excited about this, and I'm so grateful to Shakti for bringing this product to market for us. And it's a huge industry that we can participate in now. So we're glad to have you all here. We're all done, I think, Barb. So
super. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us and being here with us. And we appreciate all of you. So have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.